All right, a few days ago, we solved radical equations. Tell me how to do this one.
Add 2.
Add 2. So you're going to isolate the radical, and then what did you do next?
Times 2.
You squared both sides, right? So you got 6 minus 3x equals what?
4.
4. Then what would you do?
Subtract 6.
Subtract 6 and then divide by negative 3, right? This is old stuff. Now today what we're doing, you are going to look at a problem like this. Now what's going to be your first step to isolate this radical? You're going to add 5. And it's going to be x plus 5. Now, what did you do on the other problem? You squared this side, right? Now, when you square the other side, this is a binomial that has to be squared by using FOIL. What does that mean? You're going to expand this to be x plus 5 times x plus 5. You cannot square these individual, and that's what a lot of people do. They square these and they write x squared plus 25. It'll be wrong. Don't even bother doing the problem. I'll mark it wrong right there. Don't waste your time. So this side obviously is x plus 7. But this is a binomial that when you FOIL it, what do you get? F-O-I-L. Tell me how to... x squared plus...
Plus 10x squared.
Not 10x squared, just 10x.
10x plus 25.
Now, I'm not teaching you this part. You should know what to do. Actually, I'm teaching you, this is the only new thing I'm teaching you. Everything else should be review. Now, is it stuff that you're going to jump for joy? No, probably not. This is the stuff that you guys struggled with last year and the year before. How do you solve, what type of equation is this? It's a quadratic. How were we taught to solve quadratics? You want to set one side equal to 0.
Oh, I thought you do all x equals 0.
You want to get rid of these two. I would subtract x, and I would subtract 7. Okay, so we want a 0 on the left side. It's easier to get a 0 on the left side than the right side for this one. So can you tell me what you have here? X squared plus 9x plus 18. Now, there's 2 possible answers. How would you get those answers? Now you have to what? Factor.
Oh, God.
What times what is 18 but adds to be 9?
6 and 3.
6 and 3. Bingo. You got it. So what are your 2 possible solutions?
Isn't it negative 6 and negative?
Yeah.
Yep. So these are the solutions. These are the zeros. These are the zeros. But we have a problem. One of these doesn't work. So if we were to plug these 2 numbers in one at a time, let's do them one at a time. If I were to plug negative 6 in here, what is negative 6 plus 7? 1. What's the square root of 1? 1. What's 1 minus 5? Well, I was setting it equal to negative 6. So did this one work? No. This is called an extraneous solution. Well, does negative 3 work? Let's try. Negative 3. If I put negative 3 here, what is negative 3 plus 7?
4.
That works.
Does this work?
Yeah.
The square root of 4 is
2.
2. And 2 minus 5 is indeed negative 3. So we have an extraneous solution at negative 6. This is the answer. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this on the graphing calculator, and you're going to love me for it. But, does that mean you're not responsible for this? No. The calculator, I just want to show you how you can get this answer another way. So, does everyone have uninspired?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Duke, I might need to run around and help you while I'm doing this. All right, so I want you to hit new document. And if you don't know, raise your hand and either your friend next to you or Mr. Duke can run around and help you. I want you to hit new document, and I want you to start on a clean add graph, clean graph. We're gonna graph this equation. So now, I'm gonna have you type in this equation right here, but I'm gonna have you set this equal to 0 right off the get-go. See how we set this equal to 0 here? We're gonna skip all these steps. I'm gonna have you type in, I'm gonna let the calculator do the work for me. Type in the square root of x plus 7. Now, if you don't know where to get square root, you hit Control x squared. Type in x plus 7.
-5.
X plus 7. Then bump yourself out of that radical by using this arrow button. And then hit -5. And then, how do you get this x to the other side?
I don't know.
You do minus x. You just subtract x. So, I'm gonna zoom out, or zoom in, I should say. Does everyone have
You just minus, yeah?
minus
Because
x?
it's on the other side of the equal sign, you have to subtract x from both sides, so it's sentence.
I got you.
Does everybody have that typed in?
Yes.
Now you're gonna hit enter. Enter, right there. And what's gonna pop up,
Oh,
Is-
that's a -3.
I didn't get that.
I didn't get that.
No.
I got it. I got it. Don't worry.
did I graph it wrong?
You know, I got it.
No, I don't actually, I actually have to look.
Okay, I didn't even get a graph.
Hey, I got this thingy.
I got nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I might actually, I don't know if I put it in.
X plus 7
I think
Minus
the
5
minus was in the red.
minus
Go get
x.
I think that was right. I think the first
Yeah, that's
time.
what I got.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so where the graph hits the x-axis is the solution. It's right there. You can figure this out. These are ones. So 1, 2, -3. Now, how am I sure that that answer is -3? It could be -2.9999999.
Well, if you do the problem and you see something close to it, then you know it's it.
Well, no, we're gonna be sure. We're gonna find out where it hits the x-axis, right here. No, we're not gonna hit table, we're gonna hit menu. Everyone hit menu. Menu.
Trace.
You're gonna do, we're gonna analyze this graph. Analyze graph. You're gonna hit the center button. Let me zoom out.
Oh, intersection, right?
Nope, 0. We're looking for the 0. The 0 is where it crosses the where it crosses the x-axis. Now, I wanna highlight this spot right here.
-3.
So I'm gonna click on that and hit the middle button and then arrow over.
-3.
And it's gonna pop up, when it hits 0, there's our 0, -3, 0. Now, why do you think that -6 didn't show up?
Because
Because it's not a.
It didn't work,
Not a solution.
so it's not gonna be part of the graph. Are you getting this?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna keep doing these. The next one. All right, so we're gonna do it the long way and then the easy way. So this problem says the square root of 5x minus 1 plus 3 equals x. So what do I wanna do with this plus 3?
Minus it.
We're gonna minus it. Okay, then what? Square both sides. Square both sides like that. So read me the left side. What are you gonna write?
5x minus 1 equals x minus 3.
What's this equal to? Well, let's do this off the side. What's x minus 3 times x minus 3? X squared minus 3x, another minus 3x, and then what's -3 times -3? So can you simplify this for me? We'll do it right here.
X squared minus 6x plus 9.
You got it.
What? Why not? Why minus 6x?
Because -3x plus -3x is -6x. Okay? All right, we want to zero this side out right here.
So you minus 5 and
You're taking the opposites of these two. These are the opposites. And I'm doing the same thing on this side. So what do I have on the left side? Here's the left side, a big fat,
0.
good. What do I have on the right
X.
side?
X squared
Squared
minus
minus
11.
11x plus 10.
Plus 10. Now, I'm not teaching you this stuff, I'm just reviewing it. Because we spent weeks on this in ninth grade, how to factor this. How do you factor x squared minus 11x plus 10?
10 and 1.
What kind of 10 and what kind of 1? Caitlin, I agree with you. 10 and 1 are correct, but what signs do I put here?
Plus
A plus and a minus?
No, minus one. I know, actually,
If I do that, then I'm gonna get a negative 10 here, and that's not gonna add to
Isn't it
negative
a
11.
negative?
Negative 10 positive.
Yeah.
Okay. Negative 10 and positive?
Yeah.
No.
No, that's,
It's a negative.
No, negative, negative. Negative, negative.
why are we agreeing that it's both negatives?
Because 2 negatives equal positive.
2 negatives multiply to give you a positive, and these two add to be negative 11. So what are your two possible answers? 10 and 1. Now, if I plug these both in, do they both work? I'm thinking that this one's not gonna work, the 1. So that's my guess. Let's try it. What's 5 times 1? What's 5 minus 1? What's the square root of 4?
2.
What's 2 plus 3? Is it equal to 1? So this didn't work.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Wouldn't you essentially have 3 x's? Cause like doesn't x equal 0 for 1? You know how we got 0 on one side?
No, you would have a 0 on 0 if you factored an x out. So like something like this, if you took out like this, if you had x squared minus 3x, okay, if you factor an x out, then x is equal to 0 and 3. That's when you have 0. But you don't have that here. You've got 10 and 1. And by the way, see this power right here? That's called the degree of your problem. There's at most 2 answers. Okay? Now, when you graph this, by the way, 10 works. 10 does work. 5 times 10 is 50. 50 minus 1 is 49. The square root of 49 is 7. And 7 plus 3 is indeed 10. So this one works. This one's called extraneous. It didn't work. So now I want you on your calculator. We're going to prove that 10 is the answer. Let's type this in. How are you going to type it into your calculator? Someone help me out. So I'm going to add a new graph. New document. I'm not saving that one. I want to start over. So how do I type this equation in? Square root, control square root, 5x minus 1. Bump yourself out of that radical. Then what? What are you going to type?
Plus 3.
Plus 3, I agree. And then what? And then what? Plus x?
Minus x.
Minus x, thank you. And then hit enter. And guess what? Where do you think it's hitting the x-axis?
And
It's at 10. Now how would you prove it? You're going to hit menu, analyze graph, 0, and you want to roll your little thingy over here.
I don't think you can get it.
You can't.
I don't think
you
so.
probably gotta move
You
the
may have to
graph.
change your window.
You can move
Now
the
what
graph.
you could do is window, zoom, whoops. Sometimes window, you can zoom out. Come on. Come on. Okay, and then hit enter again in there. It'll move it, it'll move your graph over. What it did was it changed the viewing window. So now if I hit menu, analyze graph, 0, I'm gonna scroll over here. Now what you could do is type in your upper and your lower bound. Here it goes. It's gonna hit at, I don't know why it's so slow. Boom, there it is, at 10-0. Here's my answer. Now why did 1 not show up? How come 1's not hit?
It wasn't correct.
Because it wasn't correct. Good job. Okay, try number 26. What are you going to do with both sides?
We do it ourselves.
Yep, you're gonna do it by yourselves.
Square it.
Where'd you get that 2x?
When you FOIL x minus 1, 2 of them, this is what you
Oh,
get.
that's right.
X squared minus 1x, another minus 1x, and negative 1x plus negative 1x is negative 2x. Okay, so, what do you get? And when you factor this, you should get x minus 6, x plus 1. So your two possible solutions are,
3 and
no, not
No.
3 and 2,
6 and negative 1.
6 and negative 1. A lot of people say 3 and 2 because they say 3 times 2 is 6, but adds to be 5, but the signs don't match up. They don't work.
That's why I was sitting there trying to factor, like, is it negative 3 and 2?
Yeah, no, this one's 6 and 1. It's a negative 6 here and a positive 1 here, but then it ends up being 6 and negative 1. Now, one of these is going to be extraneous. Let's check this on our calculator. So, let's make sure 6 is the answer on this one. This one ends up being extraneous, it doesn't work. So what are you going to type in? You're going to type in the square root of 3x plus 7 minus x and plus 1. Notice how I change the signs of these? And then when you hit enter, guess where it hit? Guess what that is 6. Now you want to make sure that that's 6. So you want to hit menu, you want to analyze the graph, you're looking for the 0, and I'm going to make sure it is 6 and not 0.5999999, something weird like that. And boom, 6, 6 comma 0. Now, is 27 any different than the previous problems that we've done?
No.
It's still
Why?
square root.
It's still square root. Why is it still square root?
Because the bottom number is the index.
Yes, so this really says 5 minus x, it's the square root. So what are you gonna do?
You can take the 2 and then you multiply it on each
Yes, yes, you're gonna square this side, so how do we do this one? Square that side. So for homework, I'm gonna have you do all of these. I want you to do them by hand and with the calculator. So there are 6 problems here, actually 5 because we just did 1. Now flip to the back side. There's 4 more. Don't do 39 or 40. These 4 are easy. These are actually easier than the ones we just did. Does anyone think they know how to do these ones right here?
No.
I didn't tell you.
Square both sides though.
You got it. Square both sides. Easy?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you square both sides?
You have to get rid of the radical.
Yeah. Now watch how easy this is. What do you have on this side?
Just a 3x,
What do you have on this side?
x plus 6.
How easy is that?
Pretty easy.
And then what do you do?
Subtract three.
Subtract what?
3x.
I would subtract, I would get this over here.
Oh. You just
And
don't
what
get
do
the
you
same answer if you do the other one.
Yeah,
You get 3.
Yeah, it's just, you get 3.
it would just take.
It's just an extra step. Okay, now check out this one, 37. This says 7x plus 6, the square root of it, minus 9 plus 4x, the square root of it equals 0. Anyone think they know what to do?
Square both of them, square them.
How about if we move this to this side? See, this really says square root of 7x plus 6 equals, and then if I move this over here, it's the square root of 9 plus 4x. Do you agree with what I just did? I just moved this over. Why did I pick this one to move over?
So there was a
This is a
negative.
negative.
Because of that negative.
So you made it a positive,
Yeah, I could have moved this one over, but then I would have a negative and a negative.
which equals a positive.
So go the easier route. Pick the easiest one to move. Now what are you gonna do with this one?
Square it.
Easy. So what are you doing? You're ripping the square root off both of these sides. So simply 7x plus 6 equals 9 plus 4x. Easy?
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to do these, so you've got, how many for homework? 5 on the front page, and I want you to do these 2 on your own. That's it. Can you handle that? You've got the graphing calculator, play around with those, and then tomorrow I'm gonna show you how to
Can
do
I see
these.
37?
These ones are awful to do by hand, problem 5, but I'm gonna show you tomorrow how to do them. That's it. Thank you.